Look, I need to tell you something uncomfortable about your organization. Most of the initiatives you approve are doomed before they start. And not because the ideas are bad or the teams are incompetent or the strategy is wrong. They're doomed because nobody actually knows what they've committed to. A product manager pitches a simple integration, leadership nods and says yes. 3 months later, the project is over budget, behind schedule, and requiring 5 teams that were never consulted. What happened? Well, nobody asked the hard questions up front. So let's dig into this. I'll go over here and find the parts that we want to talk about here. We don't know what we're signing up for. That's what we want to dig into. Let's get this clear. Now here's the thing about most project proposals. They sound clear until you try to build them. We need to improve the user onboarding experience. Well, that sounds straightforward, right? But what does improve mean? And which part of onboarding? And for which user types? And what's the success metric? And who owns the content? And what about the technical dependencies? And what about the compliance requirements? Suddenly your simple project has tentacles reaching into 6 different departments and touching systems you forgot existed. This isn't incompetence, it's human nature. We're excited about an idea, we focus on the outcome, and we gloss over the complexity. We assume the details will sort themselves out, and they never do. The real damage isn't just blown timelines or budget overruns, it's the erosion of trust. When initiatives consistently surprise teams with hidden complexity, people stop believing in the roadmap. They start padding their estimates. Planning becomes creative fiction rather than realistic forecasting. I worked with a company once where this pattern had become so entrenched that the engineering department automatically doubled every timeline estimate. And not because they were lazy, but because they'd been burned so many times by simple projects turning into multi-quarter nightmares. So let's look at the solution. The answer is not to slow down decision making. It's to front load the hard questions so that you can move fast with confidence. And here's how you do it. Step 1, adopt a green light checklist. Before any initiative gets approved, it must complete a comprehensive checklist and include these key elements: the clear objective, and not something vague like improve user experience, but be clear. Reduce time to first value for new enterprise customers from 14 days to 7 days. Named owner and stakeholders. Who exactly is accountable for delivery? Who needs involvement? Who makes trade-off decisions when things get complicated? Scope boundaries. What's included? And more importantly, what's explicitly excluded? And then estimated effort and cross-functional impacts. Not just how long will this take, but what other work does this depend on, and who else needs to be involved? Make checklist completion mandatory. No checklist, no approval, period. Step 2, hold a cross-functional readiness review. And here's where most organizations go wrong. They let one person answer all these questions in isolation. Instead, bring together representatives from every function that will be impacted and run through the checklist together. Let people poke holes in it, surface assumptions, flag risks. This is not about creating bureaucracy, it's about creating shared understanding before you commit resources. I've seen 30-minute readiness reviews save organizations months of confusion, rework, and political fallout. Step 3, estimate the confidence level and risk. Require teams to give a confidence score, say 1 to 5, on their understanding of scope, feasibility, and dependencies. And if the confidence is low, the initiative is not ready for approval. Also highlight known risks and mitigation steps. What could go wrong with this? How would we handle it? What are the early warning signs? This is not about perfection, it is about honest assessment. Step 4, include a what this isn't section. And this is crucial. Document what's explicitly excluded from the scope. Prevent assumption creep by being crystal clear about boundaries. This initiative will improve the dashboard user interface. It will not include mobile optimization. It will not include advanced reporting features or integration with legacy CRM system. This kind of thing prevents adjacent teams from borrowing the initiative for their own goals later on. And step 5, document approval conditions. Once you've gone through the readiness review, document exactly what was agreed. Deadlines, owners, funding, success criteria, and scope boundaries. This becomes your baseline. When scope creep inevitably tries to sneak in, you have something to point back to. When timelines get questioned, you have the original assumptions documented. Revisit these conditions during regular reviews to keep everyone anchored to what was actually approved. Implementing this kind of upfront discipline does not slow you down, it makes you steadier. Your estimates become more accurate. Your teams become more confident, and your stakeholders stop getting surprised. And most importantly of all, you stop signing up for things that you don't understand. Unclear commitments are not faster. Okay, they're just chaotic. And disarray disguised as speed is still disarray. Organizations that adopt this kind of readiness discipline don't move slower, they move with confidence. They know what they're building, and they know why they're building it, and they know what success looks like. And the cultural shift when you do this is profound. You're moving from figure out as we go to figure it out before we commit. And that goes from decision heroics to decision hygiene. Now, some people will resist this. They'll say you can't know everything up front, and they're partially right. But you can know enough to make smart commitments and realistic plans. The goal is not perfect information, it's sufficient clarity to avoid predictable disasters. The best teams don't wing it, they plan it, and they do it before the stakes get too high. So stop signing up for mysteries and start demanding clarity. Your execution depends on it. Now, to get the complete framework for turning unclear ideas into rock-solid commitments that your teams can actually deliver, go grab the Survive and Thrive guide. The link is in the description.